Karlsruhe. We are so pleased to have you here with us at the Code and new.New Festival. This is our first year in this fantastic space, and I'm looking forward to an amazing 3 days here at the Center for Art and Media. Code N offers you 3 days of programming across 6 stages. You'll hear from international speakers, you'll meet industry leaders and disruptors. Code N is really a chance for established companies to meet with ambitious young startups and cutting-edge digital media groups. In the words of our founder and the initiator of Code N, Ulrich Dietz, it's going to be a thrilling mix. At this time, it is my pleasure to officially introduce the founder of GFT Technologies, the initiator of Code N, and the host of this festival, Ulrich Dietz.
Good morning, everybody. What an awesome crowd here in 10 o'clock in the morning at Karlsruhe, especially when you know how the traffic in Baden-Württemberg is actually really very bad. So welcome all of you here in Karlsruhe. Special welcome to Mayor of Economics of Karlsruhe, Frau Luczak Schwarz, and a special welcome to my very old friend, Peter Weibel, where he's hanging around. I think he's getting wired right now. So welcome to Peter Weibel. And a warm welcome to all the startups we have here in Karlsruhe today from 11 different countries right now. And a special welcome to our industry partners, to our supporters, and various other partners who help to make this event happen. Distinguished friends and guests. Actually, you all are now in the middle of an experiment. This event, this kind of ecosystem is an experiment, and because with the new.New festival, it was our goal to establish a complete new format, we call it to present technology in a complete different way, in a way to give passion for innovation, to give lots of new ideas, and it's a way of new kind of thinking. So we are in the middle of an experiment. Actually, the Code and new.New festival is on the one side a technology kind of conference with more than 100 lectures in the next 3 days. And on the other side, it's a show for presentation of really cool and hot stuff. From startups company on the one side, but also from really cool industrial companies. Because I think the industrial companies we have here, if it's B. Braun, if it's Trumpf, and all the others, Accenture, they show that they are in the middle of the digitization and that they all have quite cool stuff what they are doing. And I think the Code and new.New platform is also a platform for exchange ideas for scientists of art and interesting people from all around the world. And finally, the Code and new.New festival is a chance to meet really fascinating people of all different kind of digital business. I think it's a festival for people who want to drive the digital economy and who want to drive digital ideas and not to get driven by the digital economy. So actually, when we founded Code N 5 years ago, it was our original idea to create a complete new kind of ecosystem for future technologies and business which excites people. Something which gives people who visit the venue really sparkling eyes. Because technology normally is getting presented so boring, and we said it, we have to do it other way around. We have to really get a cool environment, get a cool platform where technology inspires people. And something which is interesting, especially from the content in the same time. Something which gives the visitors a really passion for the future. We are looking on new technologies and new ideas to drive the future by ourselves. And finally, we wanted to create an event, and if I would be an American, I would rather say which is breathtaking, which is awesome, which is a really gorgeous event. But because I'm a Swabian, I say we are trying to create an event which gives the visitors and partners inspirations and good ideas. So we'll see how it works out. Actually, with Code N 12 to 15, we have achieved all these goals when we had been at the CeBIT show in Hanover. We had 1,500 startups at Code N. We had more than 150,000 visitors and lots of press coverage all over the world. And now with the Code N new festival, we want to go one step further. We want to develop another kind of platform because we are really crazy about innovation. And actually, we have found a partner who is able to do this with us, a kind of perfect partner. Frank Mentrup, the mayor of Karlsruhe, and the incredible Peter Weibel, both of them who are curious and courageous enough to say, we want to do such kind of a festival here in Karlsruhe, and they wanted to go the journey with us to excite this, I rather would say, mid-sized Badisch city with future technologies and new ideas. Friends, to be honest, when we thought about driving an overall city with fascinating ideas, it was quite fascinating and frightening in the same way. But when we had also discussions with the various authorities here in Karlsruhe, from the IHK beginning to the city of Karlsruhe and so on, we realized, hey, these guys, they want to really do it. They want to go one step further with us. They want to develop such kind of a platform. And we decided together we want to do it, and today we will see how it works out. Therefore, I want to thank really Frank Mentrup and Peter Weibel, that they are the guys who move forward and the support and to mobilize all the supporters here in Karlsruhe as well. As there are Karlsruhe Messe und Kongress GmbH, Karlsruhe Event GmbH, Karlsruher Verkehrsverbund, who gives you the tickets for the traffic, mobile stuff, the Cyber Forum, Stadtmarketing Karlsruhe, and KTG, Karlsruhe Tourismus. All these guys have to get mobilized, that they are able to implement new kind of transport and other stuff. And of course, a big hand and a big thank you to Peter Weibel and the ZKM team who own this, or who are the owner of this venue here, which is a fantastic media museum normally during the year, and which we were able to complete reorganize. But I also want to thank really our industry partners and friends who believed in our concept and who are true members of the team. Because this is also fascinating at Code N. All the partners here are members of one team who created the content for the lectures together, who created also different booths and stuff together. I would rather say our industry partners are real innovators in their field. And these industry partners are Accenture, also the Federal Ministry of Education and Research, Hewlett-Packard Enterprise, Trumpf, GFT, B. Braun, NBW, Vector, and many more. I think we have to give a big hand to all the supporters who make this event happen. And finally, I want to thank all the other supporters who support this great event with ideas, money, help, and additional support, enthusiasm. Thanks to all of you. Now, guys, let's have 3 inspirational days with lots of interesting sessions, with lots of fantastic discussions here around, with workshops beginning from design thinking and all the other stuff. Go to the booth, go to the startups and see and exchange ideas, talk to people, because Code N Festival is an exchange platform to find new people who are really innovators, who want to get exchange with new ideas. And finally, have lots of fun at the evening events, in the various venues, at the parties. Thank you, and have a good start of the Code and new Festival. Enjoy the time, and I'm looking forward to have lots of one-on-one discussions with all of you guys. Thanks very much. Have fun. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Herr Dietz, for that fantastic and very modest welcome. As the resident American, let me say, this space is breathtaking. It is fantastic. It is gorgeous. And I'm very pleased to welcome the CEO and chairman of the Center for Art and Media here in Karlsruhe, Peter Weibel. The stage is yours. Good morning. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to everybody. Maybe after some years, some people will look back and ask, when did the new Europe of the 21st century start and begin? And they will most probably say, the new Europe in 21st century started September 20, 2016, when the Code N happened in Karlsruhe. What is the difference between the new Europe and the old Europe? The old Europe is dominated by the question, more United Union or less. That means some people think it would be better to have more power to the European Union organization and less to the nation states. And some people think it is better to have less power to the European Union organization and more power to the nation states. But this equation is wrong. The real equation should be more or less digitization in Europe. Because as you know, the software is produced in the United States of America, the hardware is produced more or less in Asia. And Europe is a gap. We just are buying the objects from these two continents. So we have lost our digital sovereignty. And we have to win it back. The future of 21st century in Europe is to win back our digital sovereignty. And we have to make the foundation for a digital European Union. And this is precisely the answer for some people who have a negative experience of globalization. And this is why Code N is so important. What we are experiencing here the next 3 days is a meeting of the innovation avant-gardes, the convergence of the main sources of innovation and creativity, science, technology, and art. And this convergence was always a specific domain of Europe. Europe was always at the front when they converged science, technology, and art, and still will be on the front in this matter, because all innovation and all societies are embedded in this convergence. This triple, science, technology, and art. It is still the most powerful tool. And we experience with this conference in the next days a kind of noetic turn. Noetic turn means a cognitive turn, because philosophy and theology and politics still believe we are living in a language-based civilization. The Bible says, in the beginning was the Word. And philosophers like Wittgenstein in the 20th century say, the borders of my language are the borders of my world. But now we know the borders of our horizon, the borders of our world are tools. And we are inventing these new tools and showing them here. So this is showing us that we are the children and creatures of the so-called electromagnetic waves. 400 years only. The humanity exists since millions of years, but only 400 years ago we discovered that the Earth is an electromagnet. And only 150 years ago in Karlsruhe, 1886 to 1889, Heinrich Hertz discovered the existence of electromagnetic waves, and that light is electromagnetic waves. Therefore, it is very important that photonics is happening here. We are only exploring the riddle of electromagnetic waves the last 150 years. We have invented television, radio, smartphones, etc. Now you can imagine when we have only made use of electromagnetic waves the last 150 years, what will happen in the next several hundred years. This is the future which we are showing here now. And therefore, that ZCAM has prepared a row of shows for you. For example, when you go around the corner, you see a robot developed by Robot Lab, which has a kind of generative grammar, and the robot writes every 5 minutes a new manifesto. He writes himself every 5 minutes a new manifesto about robotic art. When you go further, then you see a work by Mr. Slovik, who is an artist at ZChem. As you know, Leibniz has reduced the 10 ciphers from 1 to 0 to 2 ciphers, 0 and 1. And we show you now really sensational future. We have reduced with Mr. Slovik the alphabet of 26 letters to one sign. With one sign, we can imitate all the alphabets of the world. And we show you this invention right around the corner. Then we show you also the German art historian Abe Warburg, who has invented the picture atlas, which was a rerunner of the so-called social media. We show you our 3D lab. We show you also, just behind me, the invention which will be worth really several $1 million when we find people who support us. Because the nature of light in quantum theory is not yet discovered. And Mr. Fabrizio Tamburini is one of the most important quantum physicists in the world, and he's a scientist in residence at ZChem. Together with Freda Balgruna, he shows us new aspects of quantum angular momentums, how the photonic future will look like. And then also, we show you with the title Datasphere, an exhibition in the first floor here about young artists who are trying to explore the new technology. In the evening, you see facade projection in the castle, and in the marketplace of Karlsruhe, you see something what is called in our digital water sculptures. Today, we can control every drop of water with computers. That means when you, in 1 second from a shower comes down 660 drops. This is equivalent to the hertz frequency 660, and this is a sound E. So we can play music, really music, with water drops. So we offer you here at ZChem also a show about the founders of digital logic, the Vienna Circle, from Kurt Gödel to Wittgenstein. So when you have time, please take opportunity to revel in the wonders, in this convergence of science and knowledge and art. At the end, I would like to thank Mr. Dietz, who has brought us together, and who also want to thank him for bringing Code N from Hanover to Karlsruhe. Thank you so much.